habits we already have, often without thinking. So don't shy away from playing to your strengths and go for it.
KXAN Simple Health is partnering with the American Heart Association to help shift our mindsets into a positive space once and for all. And here's a simple way to begin your positive mindset journey. Go to kxan.com/simplehealth. From there, you'll be on your way to getting healthy for good.
These sponsors are valued community partners of KXAN Simple Health. Get healthy today. Search for KXAN News where you get your podcast, then listen to KXAN News in your car.
Good Tuesday morning. This is it, what could be the worst travel day of the year.
For millions of Americans, airport issues and winter weather packing a 1-2 punch of nightmare conditions. It's December 27th. This is today. Grounded, endless lines, lost luggage, the scene at the nation's airports going from bad to worse as airlines struggle to recover from weather delays. Southwest canceling almost all their flights.
Once again, Southwest Airlines passengers, 90% of our flights has been canceled.
This morning, the Department of Transportation calling the situation unacceptable. So where does that leave frustrated travelers with nowhere to sleep and no way to get home? State of emergency. The winter weather won't let up, and the death toll is climbing this morning. Rescue teams scrambling to bring help where it's needed most after what officials call the blizzard of the century.
They saved our lives.
Now survivors are digging their way out, but there could be more snow on the way. We're there with the very latest. Breaking point, a flood of migrants seeking asylum blocked at the border because of a controversial policy. But it could all change today when the Supreme Court weighs in. We have a live report. Coming clean, the Republican congressman-elect under fire for deceiving voters, finally responding to reports he lied about his education, work, and personal history.
A lot of people overstate in their resumes or twist a little bit.
This morning, what George Santos is saying about his past and why he's ignoring calls for resignation. Those stories plus off the field, a new setback for Miami Dolphins Tua Tagovailoa after Sunday's loss to the Green Bay Packers. Now the quarterback following NFL concussion protocol for the second time this season. So will he make it in time to help his team in this weekend's face-off with New England? And jackpot. The holiday gifts just keep coming. All eyes now on the Mega Millions with over $500 million up for grabs. Life-changing prize money to help close out the year. Today, Tuesday, December 27th, 2022.
From NBC News, this is Today with Savannah Guthrie and Hoda Kotb. Live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Good morning and welcome to Today. Thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday morning. Savannah and Hoda are off. We're keeping the seats warm. And Peter, in addition to all of the holiday excitement, we're now looking at this monster jackpot.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, you're talking about Monster Storm or Monster Jackpot. We prefer to talk about the latter. More than $500 million could be in someone's pocket by the end of the night. We'll have the latest on all of that ahead. But this morning, the chaotic scenes inside airports across the country, they just continue. Southwest struggling to recover from this weekend's massive storm. On Monday, the airline canceled more than half of all of its flights nationwide. Already more than 2,500 have been canceled for today. And some people may not be able to rebook themselves until New Year's Eve.
And all the news comes as Buffalo tries to dig out from what's being called the deadliest winter storm in decades. Officials expect the death toll to continue rising, and the hard-hit region is expecting a little more snow today. Dylan will have the full forecast. Jesse Kirsch will have a live report from Buffalo. But first, Blaine Alexander is in Atlanta, where travelers are scrambling to get home. Blaine, good morning to you. What's the latest there?
Well, Kristen, good morning to you. You know, it's certainly safe to say that most of us enter the holiday travel season expecting a little bit of turbulence. But for Southwest passengers, these disruptions over the past few days have been simply unprecedented. It's something that even the CEO has acknowledged. Now the airline says that it's going to be operating at 1/3 of its overall flight schedule over the next few days to try and get back on track.
This morning, for millions of air travelers, the holiday rush is quickly becoming the holiday regret.
Everybody in this line, they're sick of this. They're sick I stayed at the airport, and we were sleeping on the chairs.
From Chicago Midway to LAX.
They won't have flights for the next 3 days. So I'm stuck.
Across the country, more than 8,000 flights delayed on the day after Christmas. More than 4,000 canceled. The bulk of those from Southwest Airlines, which accounts for more than 70% of all flights canceled nationwide Monday. From long lines at the ticket counter and massive luggage pileups to this stunning announcement at Phoenix's Sky Harbor Airport.
Once again, Southwest Airlines passengers, 90% of our flights has been canceled.
In a statement, Southwest calls the situation unacceptable, apologizing to customers and blaming winter weather, writing in part, "We were fully staffed and prepared for the approaching holiday weekend." And overnight, Southwest CEO Bob Jordan called the cancellations the largest scale event I've ever seen, adding, "We had a tough day today. In all likelihood, we'll have another tough day tomorrow." All of this is putting stress on pilots and staff.
Our pilots can't get hotels. They're sleeping in airports.
We've had flight attendants waiting on hold for 17 hours to get in touch with crew scheduling.
This morning, the Department of Transportation says it's concerned by the airline's disproportionate and unacceptable rate of cancellations, adding it will closely examine whether the airline is complying with its customer service plan as well as all other pertinent DOT rules.
Blaine, your heart just goes out to all of those travelers. But look, other airlines don't appear to be experiencing the same level of cancellations, and yet Southwest is saying their big factor here was the weather. So what can you tell us about that?
Yeah. And Kristen, you can see this Southwest line here at the ticket counter behind me. But yes, the airline is saying that these were circumstances beyond their control. They were fully staffed, did everything that they could do on their part, but they simply can't control the weather. However, what you just heard from the DOT is really crucial. They're going to be looking into whether this was a controlled or uncontrolled situation. Now, industry insiders say that that is crucial because remember, Southwest is one of the airlines that promised to reimburse stranded travelers for hotels, for meals, for taxis, things like that, if the situation is in their control. So really what the DOT finds here could certainly be key in determining how all of this plays out for a number of passengers, Kristen.
Well, we know you will continue to track that DOT inquiry. Blaine, thank you so much.
Traveling or not, many Americans are waking up to a winter weather hangover, a historic and deadly blizzard bearing everything in its path across much of the Northeast. At least 57 Americans now dead from this punishing storm. NBC's Jesse Kirsch, she's in Buffalo, New York, near some of the hardest hit parts of the state. Jesse, good morning.
Peter, good morning. You can see just some of the snow that has been pushed aside and piled up behind me here. And we've got more snow falling right now. Over there across the street, that is the city's airport. So it's not hard to imagine why that will be closed at least until tomorrow morning as Buffalo continues dealing with the aftermath of this historic, devastating storm.
Amid frantic rescues and mounting loss, this morning Buffalo's still not out of the woods. Western New York could see even more snow by tonight after more than 4 feet brought Buffalo to a frigid halt.
Nothing can compare to this storm.
The Tisdale family says they almost didn't survive after their car got stuck in the whiteout. Thankfully, firefighters came to the rescue.
They saved our lives. So many people didn't make it out of their cars. So many people didn't make it out of their homes.
The severe winter weather blamed for nearly 60 deaths nationwide. One of the state's hardest hit, New York. President Biden declaring a state of emergency after officials reported more than 24 weather-related deaths.
It is painful to find members of your community that are deceased, who were trying to walk out during storm conditions, got disoriented, and passed away out in the street.
Navigating streets turned to parking lots. Authorities also facing reported looting.
I don't know how these people can even live with themselves, how they can look at themselves in the mirror. They are the lowest of the low.
This as first responders continue to help Buffalo residents, with New York State police troopers assisting road clearing crews, checking for stranded motorists, and assisting in search and rescue efforts.
It's up in flames now.
While firefighters struggled to control a multiple home fire in the deep snow yesterday. And the Buffalo airport will remain closed until Wednesday morning as the area braces for a touch of more snow today. That viral Christmas party with stranded South Korean tourists giving Yosep Choi and his wife a honeymoon he'll never forget.
I got a new family member in Buffalo too. So, I can't describe in words, it's like, I met angels.
Such an incredible, inspiring story, a sign of hope in what has been a very tough time here in Buffalo. We do have some cars out on the roadways right now, guys, but for the city of Buffalo, there is still a travel ban in place this morning. We are looking at some warmer temperatures, even if just slightly, in the days ahead, so hopefully that will bring some relief as well. Peter?
Those piles of snow next to you, hard to imagine. All that came over the course of the last week. Jesse Kirsch, thank you so much.
Yeah, really just extraordinary to see. All right, let's check in with it really is. Let's check in with the woman of the hour, Dylan, who is here with more on what we can expect. Dylan, what's it look like?
Well, lake effect snow takes a long time to wind down. You really need a change in the wind direction. And because of this slow-moving storm system, we haven't had that. So the storm intensified as it moved through the Great Lakes and then was slow to exit. So because of that, we had a long period of time, more than 24 hours, more than 36 hours of those winds crossing over the unfrozen Great Lakes. And when you have that warm water in the Great Lakes and the cold air, it just creates this whole lake effect snow machine. So this is the longest blizzard ever on record for Buffalo, with more than 37 hours of blizzard conditions. We already have 100 inches of snow so far this season. That's the most snow to ever start the winter season in the Buffalo area, and it is still frigid and icy in that part of the country right now, with those winds still crossing over Lake Erie, especially up into Buffalo and into Watertown, where we'll see another couple of inches before it winds down today. Wind chills still down around 10 in Buffalo, 0 in Chicago, 2 below in Omaha. But we are going to see warmer weather begin to work in as we look into the Buffalo area. Wednesday, we'll see some melting. Thursday, Friday, each day we'll get some melting. So we'll kind of chip away at the snow that's on the ground. And elsewhere, we're looking at some of those warmer temperatures too. Chicago, even up into the 50s by Thursday, Kristen.
Those warmer temperatures sure do look good. Dylan, thank you.
In Washington this morning, a potentially massive decision from the nation's highest court on what will happen with Title 42. That's the Trump-era policy that allows most asylum seekers to be turned away at the border due to concerns about COVID. After facing challenges in the courts for months, the policy was set to expire last week before the Supreme Court stepped in. Now the debate over its future is reigniting tough questions and concerns about what happens if it is lifted. NBC's Sam Brock is in El Paso, Texas, with the very latest this morning. Sam, good morning.
Peter, good morning. Still so much uncertainty here. The expectation today is that the Supreme Court will either take up this case and debate the merits of Title 42 or pass and pave the way for it not to be applied any longer in the manner that it has. I'm in El Paso right now, Peter. It is 36 degrees over my shoulder. You see all these folks here wrapped up, sleeping on the ground in blankets. Just to their right is a bus that's there to provide warmth for those who need it. And talking to so many people here, they have been waiting for an answer for months.
On what could be decision day for Title 42, there are signs of distress all over the streets of El Paso and the thousands camping out. It's clear, not just from their faces or blankets or signs, but in some cases, battle scars. Caesar shows me the slashes on his wrist he says came from Mexican cartels trying to extort him for money as he waited to cross the border. We ask him why he and his group have been waiting for months. We've been waiting since October because we believed in the President of the United States, he tells me, that an opportunity to come to America legally on December 21st would happen. But on that date, the expiration of Title 42 received a stay from the Supreme Court. The question now is for how long? The court says a decision could come today on whether it remains in place. The outcome is consequential as migrants show me cracked cell phone screens detailing their haunting journeys. Or scabs from frozen nights and burns suffered on train cars. It's clear most of the people we speak with are from Venezuela or a handful of other countries. That's partly because of how Title 42 is being applied, allowing asylum seekers from some countries, but not others.
It feels arbitrary which countries are getting a green light and which ones aren't.
Absolutely. It absolutely is. Currently green-lighted Nicaragua and Cuba, potentially forthcoming Venezuela, and also the so-called Northern Triangle of Central America. They're in the same boat as the Venezuelans.
Dr. Josiah Hyman with UTEP estimates that about a quarter to a third of all people coming to the border right now are currently being blocked by Title 42. And that's with border crossings at their highest level this fiscal year, 2.76 million in modern history.
And so the question now, what will happen if Title 42 is lifted? Dr. Hyman says, of course, with all of those folks that are waiting right now on the Mexican side of the border, there is no doubt there will absolutely be a surge for the first month or two. What happens after that, guys, is an open question. Peter, back to you.
A legal and political cliffhanger with lives in the balance. Sam Brock, thank you so much.
We want to tell you about another major story rocking the political world now. A Republican congressman-elect is finally addressing reports that he made up several key details about everything from his professional experience to his educational background and even his charity work. NBC's Emily Ikeda is here with the swirling controversy around George Santos. Emily, good morning to you.
Kristen, good morning. Just a stunning admission from the incoming congressman whose victory helped the GOP flip the next House. Representative-elect George Santos apologizing for embellishing his resume, but staying firm on taking his seat.
In an Iran nuclear.
Long Island Representative-elect George Santos, a Republican under fire for lying about his past, now coming clean in an interview with WABC Radio.
A lot of people overstate in their resumes or twist a little bit or ingratiate themselves. I'm not saying I'm not guilty of that.
And telling the New York Post, my sins here are embellishing my resume. I'm sorry. The embellishments, a confirmation of reporting from the New York Times that Santos had not graduated from college or worked directly at two major Wall Street firms, Citigroup and Goldman Sachs. But Santos maintained his innocence on other fronts.
I'm not a criminal who defrauded the entire country and made up this fictional character and ran for Congress.
Santos denied reporting from the New York Times that he has unresolved criminal charges in Brazil. Questions were also raised about a tax-exempt animal rescue group Santos claims to run. According to the Times, the IRS has no record of a charity by its name, and how he managed to lend $700,000 to his congressional campaign, to which he responded,
"That is the money that I've paid myself through my company."
Santos also addressed claims about his personal life, telling the New York Post, "I never claimed to be Jewish," while his campaign website said that his maternal family was Jewish and his grandparents escaped Jewish persecution.
This campaign was never about me. It was always about the people.
These questions and revelations coming just weeks after pulling off an upset victory in the midterms.
I've been around a long time. I mean, a lot of people know me. They know who I am.
Santos shows no signs of offering his resignation amid increasingly louder calls to resign.
He has spat in the face of every resident in the 3rd Congressional District and said that facts do not matter.
He's expected to be sworn in before Congress next month.
At the end of the day, I campaigned on issues, and I campaigned to deliver results. Those promises still stand.
NBC News has attempted to reach George Santos overnight, but did not receive a response. Nassau County GOP spokesman Mike Deary says the party will not have a statement until later today. Legal experts point out the U.S. House of Representatives can do little at this point. After he is sworn in, though, he could face ethics investigations, so a lot of developments to come.
Yeah, no doubt he'll face a lot of questions once he actually gets to Washington. Emily, thank you. Good to see you.
The fact that he said, "I never claimed to be Jewish, I claim to be Jew-ish," I think a lot of people are going to have
one
some
of the
thoughts
many
on
stunning revelations.
Dylan Dryer's keeping an eye on the forecast right now. A lot of people hoping it warms up.
And it will. We are going to see some warmer temperatures begin to work in this week. Still hanging on to a few lake effect snow showers up across the Great Lakes. It's still chilly down through the southeast too. But look at the warmer air. Some 60s showing up into the southern plains down into Texas. That will all start to move eastward. We're also, though, watching a big storm system out west. Lots of rain. Parts of California already picked up more than 7 inches of rain and mountain snow. We'll get into the details of that storm coming up in the next half hour. But for now, that's a look at the weather across the country. We'll get to your local forecast in the next 30 seconds.
The new Grand Wagoneer with panoramic sunroof, available Macintosh reference entertainment system, passenger display, and massaging Palermo leather-trimmed front seats. It even has one more thing, a captain's chair.
Get 3.9% financing plus no monthly payments for 90 days on the 2022 Wagoneer Series 2 and Series 3. Search new inventory and locate a dealer near you at Wagoneer.com.
Good morning, everyone. Temperatures will not be as warm as they were yesterday, and when we reach the 60s, we'll peak in the mid and upper 50s for most of our area this afternoon, and we'll see some scattered clouds arrive during the afternoon as well. We have a low chance of rain on Thursday. That'll be our last rain for 2022, and then rain chances pick up early next week, but not on New Year's Day. So after 58 today, we'll be at 74 tomorrow, and the low to mid 70s Thursday with that low chance of rain.
And that's your latest forecast.
All right, Dylan, thank you so much. Coming up, the story everyone's talking about. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot. It's reaching record levels, over $500 million. Now up for grabs. Our Kerry Sanders is following the frenzy, Kerry.
Well, if it sounds like these jackpots are getting bigger and bigger every year, you might be onto something. And as we end this year, what an amazing amount. More than that. Well, it's $500 million+ Wow. We'll have those details coming up.
By the way, just in case you don't win the lottery, we're going to help you get your finances under control, just protectively, especially if you're dealing with some holiday debt. Why the new year is the perfect time for a reset. But first, this is Today on NBC.
Do you ever actually think?
No one does breakfast better than Rosa's Cafe. From flavorful breakfast plates, bowls, and tacos, to carry-out platters for any size group, Rosa's Cafe is cooking it fresh for you. So make it Rosa's Cafe for a fast and delicious breakfast. Dine in and wake up with Rosa's Cafe.
We're across the street from the 1890 Ranch next to Jimmy John's. And remember, when you see this face, you're in the right place.
It's tough finding a good, reliable contractor you can trust to do a quality job at a fair price. Most people feel like they're taking a gamble and often end up overpaying. Capital Painting and Remodel is different. We're a family-owned business with over 15 years of experience. Our goal is to provide quality service that exceeds your expectations. We want you to be 100% satisfied with the work we do for you. Contact us today for a free consultation.
Hi, Austin viewers. I'm Jeff Davis. The courthouse isn't just a beautiful historic building. It's a place where wrongs are made right, where your rights are protected. With over 25 years experience, the expert legal team at Davis Law Firm fights for Texans every day.
We recently won a jury verdict in excess of $9.6 million for leg injuries caused to two cyclists by the driver of an 18-wheeler.
So if you've been in a car truck wreck, call me at 444. Oh, come on. I have to do this again? Everyone knows this number by now. There's only one number to remember. 4.
Still ahead, the viral TikToks that have people across the country saying they want to fly to Milwaukee.
To visit the local library. Jacob Sobroff made the trip. He's going to share how they are gaining millions of fans. That's after your local news. That was tough to say.
Research shows people remember commercials with nostalgia. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance, here's one that'll really take you back.
Wow! What'd you get, Ryan? It's customized home insurance from Liberty Mutual.
What does it do, bud?
It customizes our home insurance so we only pay for what we need. And what did you get, Mike? I got a bike.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. COVID-19. Some people get it, and some people can get it bad. And for those who do get it bad, it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, asthma, or smoking. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, don't wait. Ask your healthcare provider right away if an authorized oral treatment is right for you.
Love doesn't discriminate. It doesn't pick and choose. When there's so much to fight against, love fights for. When others flee, love runs toward. And when darkness prevails, love remembers its strength. For 156 years, the Salvation Army has loved all who feel lost. With your help, we'll never stop.
Special K is oven toasted to crisp perfection, then tossed with yogurty goodness. Or maybe some red berries. Special K in so many craveable varieties, so you can do what's delicious.
I said you did it. You did it. You
Good news. A new clinical study showed that Centrum Silver supports cognitive health in older adults. It's one more step towards taking charge of your health. So every day, you can say, it's Centrum Silver.
Fellas, I'm getting married.
It's going to be just like old times. Only better, right?
Better.
Life doesn't always go the way we expect, but if we're lucky, we end up where we're supposed to.
I know what it's like to be a tired, exhausted mom. Don't you have 3 nannies? It takes a village.
And now please welcome Anna Montoya.
Pain hits fast, so get relief fast. Only Tylenol Rapid Release Gels have laser-drilled holes. They release medicine fast for fast pain relief. And now, get relief without a pill with Tylenol Dissolve Packs. Relief without the water.
I brought in Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein.
Those who tried me felt more energy in just 2 weeks. Here, I'll take that.
Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients for immune health.
Who says you have to spend more on skincare to get results? I power up my skin with Olay. It works. Guaranteed. Try niacinamide for strength, retinol 24 for smoothness, and vitamin C for brightness. I like to use them all.
You can watch us so many ways these days, but what about when you're out and about in your car? Now you can literally push a button and listen to KXAN News on demand. It's so easy to get. Go to wherever you get your podcast, put KXAN, and there you go. Let's test it out. Hit it, hear it.
Welcome to KXAN News.
KXAN News in your car. It feels like all your favorite KXAN News and weather people are right in the car with you.
It really does.
The Rooms to Go New Year sale is going on now, and things are looking good. Buy stylish new pieces, stunning new packages, and get 55-month interest-free financing. Picture it, room after room of amazing furniture, the hottest living rooms, gorgeous bedrooms, elegant dining rooms, and more. With low monthly payments and 55-month interest-free financing. It's time to celebrate. The Rooms to Go New Year sale is going on now.
A crash with a company vehicle is not just another car accident. If you were injured in a company vehicle accident, call Thomas J. Henry. Available 24/7 nights and weekends.
In-depth, investigative. This is a KXAN News Update.
Good Tuesday morning. I'm Erica Brenes. The misery continues this morning for anyone flying Southwest Airlines. According to flight tracking website FlightAware, so far Southwest has canceled more than 60% of today's flights around the United States. More than 130 of those will affect Austin. Southwest says it's working to either refund or rebook travel for anyone stranded by those cancellations. All right, let's get a check of your traffic and then a check of your forecast. Of course, we have it nonstop over on the CW Austin, 7 to 9, Monday through Friday, so you can always come hang out. But right now, things along I-35 quiet. There is a stalled car southbound. This is right near Old Settlers Boulevard, but it's not causing any major delays because enough people are off work and the kiddos off school. Things are quiet on the roadways. No major crashes causing any kind of real trouble this morning. Your drive time's just solid green all across the board. But of course, we want to get a check of your forecast, so here's Rich.
So let us start with today's pollen count updated this morning. Molds are moderate today. They were a little higher than they were yesterday, but not by much. However, in that moderate threshold, Cedar a little lower today, and that's news we'd like to report. We'll go with a high of 58 today thanks to a weak front coming through this morning, and then we're all 70s as we go from Wednesday on into early next week. 2022 will end with sunshine, a high of 77, and a midnight temperature in the low to mid-50s under a mostly clear sky. New Year's Day, sunshine and scattered clouds, highs in the low to mid-70s. Go out and make it a great day.
Crows, nose, plumbing, heating, and air. Crows. Call 512-88-CROWS.
It's the Planet Fitness You Can Still Join a Gym in 2022 sale. Now through December 30th. Join for just $1 down, $10 a month, and you can still do that thing you said you do 11 and a half months ago. All with no commitment, cancel anytime. Get tons of equipment in our clean and spacious clubs. It's not too late. This can still be your year. Simply join through the free PF app for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime, and pay nothing until January 17th. Hurry, deal ends Friday, December 30th.
Get that great Mac Hike feeling. End of year savings are here at Mac Hike Ford Lincoln in Georgetown. No better time to get the Ford of your dreams. Truckloads arriving weekly. Treat yourself. New trucks and SUVs in stock and ready to go. Order from the factory and build it the way you want with no markups, no add-ons, and no deposits. Order your new Ford today and get priority status at Mac Hike Ford Lincoln in Georgetown. MacHikeFordLincoln.com.